All right, so I'm going to help you move on to this bottom portion of our worksheet. I've cleaned out the inside of my palette. If you need to do that, all you have to do is get a little wet piece of paper towel, wipe it out, throw it in the trash. Okay, so pretty simple. So this bottom portion is a value scale. It's just like our value scale with our ink or with our pencil, where you're going to be working from dark to light. However, the difference is that you're going to be doing it with color. So we're going to be creating tints and shades. A tint is when you add white to a pigment, to a color, to make it lighter. A shade is when you add black to a color to make it darker. So what I'm going to do is there's 11 squares here. I want to find the middle square. So I'm going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's my middle square. And I'm going to put whatever color I want to do in there. And to make my life easy, since I have a lot of primary color left on my palette, I'm going to use one of the primary colors. Let's use red. So I'm going to put red into the middle of my tints and shades value scale, so middle square. And I'm just going to make sure I get really nice coverage with that. So I've got red in the middle. Now I'm going to clean out my brush, and I'm going to put white on this side of my value scale, so pure white. Clean out my brush. And I'm going to put pure black on this side of my value scale. So that's what I'm working for. My goal now is to add white to my red such that it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter until it's pure white. And I want to add black to my red until it gets darker and darker and darker and darker. And I will have the goal to make a distinctly different shade for each one of these squares. Now, warning, the black comes out pretty dark. So it will darken really quickly. Just be aware that a little bit of black goes a long way. So I'm going to start with a big chunk of my red, and I'm going to go dark first. So I'm getting myself a good bit of red here. And then I'm just going to get a teeny bit of black, and I might even dab it off a little bit on the side. And then I'm going to mix that in. And if I feel like I need a little more black, I can just go grab a little more. Okay? So I'm just going to work until I get it a little bit darker. And once I put it on here, if I'm going, I don't know if that's a big enough difference. I'm going to grab just a little more of that black, mix it in, and add a little more until I get a difference that I feel like is visible. And I think I can right now. So then I'm going to add a little more black. Again, I'm going to dab it off on here so that I don't add too much because a little bit goes a long way. And that looks like a different shade to me, so I'm going to bring that over. And I might need to add just a little bit more, get a really thick coating, because sometimes this paint just goes on a little bit thin so that I can really see that value. And that's a pretty clear value step. So I'm going to add some more black to it. And I'll do my next one. And I don't feel like that's quite dark enough, so I'm going to add a little more. Just darken that up a little bit. It's easier to go darker than it is to go lighter. So start out lighter than you think you're going to need, and then go darker from there. I'm going to add a little more black and put in this last value. Okay, so I've got a value step down, a distinct value step down with each one. And I think that's pretty good. Now I want to work my way up. So if I need to, I can just wipe out some of this mixing, make a little bit of space for my white. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start with a big huge chunk of red, and I'm going to add a little bit of white to it. And I'm going to put it onto my value scale. Just slightly lighter. Now I'm going to add a little more. And the white doesn't move as fast as the black does. So you can add a little bit more white. See that one? I added more white and I feel like it looks the same. So I'm going to add even more. So remember, black is going to move dark fast. White is not going to move light fast. So add a little extra white than you think you're going to need. Now I'm going to move on to my next one. And that's even lighter. And then my last one, which is going to be even lighter. And I feel like, looking at that, I feel like that last one isn't light enough, so I'm actually just going to take a little bit of pure white and just go over it. Just add a little, there we go. Now that's light enough. So you can kind of see that value change as you go down and as you go up, and that's what you're looking for. And you know what? You can see it on the video as well.